severe barriers to planning and financing the infrastructure investments necessary to steer their growth in a climate-compatible way. International public climate finance is a fraction of total financial flows, but has the potential to play a pivotal role in helping municipal governments and other urban actors overcome the many barriers they face. On its part, the International Development Finance Club, which is a coalition of development banks with the aim of finding solutions to meet the Sustainable Development Goals and the Paris Agreement target, says it will soon surpass the $100 billion target for climate finance.
By September in New York, we will report on our climate financing, and we doubled it since COP21. It was $100 billion at that time, and we will probably surpass $200 billion in 2017. So the signal was heard, and the second announcement, Mr. Mayor, is that we launched today, we release the partnership between the C40 and IDFC, so the largest cities and their public financiers. And the idea is really to go from planning to building, so implementing urban plans, financing them, reinforce capacities, especially financial capacity within municipalities, and spur national governments together to set the proper policies.
The financial community has taken important steps forward to tackle climate change and to accelerate the greening finance. Private capital flow are now being directed towards low-carbon projects, transition risk management, and green infrastructures. This, experts believe, incentivizes the financial sector to better account for environmental and social risk in the long term, and also brings a response to market demand.
Today we release the partnership between the C40 and IDFC, so the largest cities and their public financiers. And the idea is really to go from planning to building, so implementing urban plans, financing them, reinforce capacities, especially financial capacity within municipalities, and spur national governments together to set the proper policies.
As climate change creates huge ecological and economic damage, more and more money is being given to at-risk countries to help them prevent it and adapt to its effects. By 2020, this funding will reach over $100 billion annually. But according to Transparency International's findings, poorly governed climate finance can be diverted into private bank accounts and vanity projects, often leading to damaging effects.
By the time they trickle down to...
Speaking at a session tagged Local Climate Solutions Financing the Transition, the Cross River State Commissioner for Climate Change and Forestry asked donors to give funds directly to the state rather than the federal government in order to accelerate climate action in Nigeria.
The action doesn't happen in the government offices in the central government. The action happens in the states and regions, and we are the actors. So let the financial institutions step up their own commitment, and I know they are willing to do that. And as they step up, let them also make it possible for us at the regional and subnational levels to be able to access the funds directly. For this meeting, what I want us to take back with us is that the narrative should change. Let the narrative change from bureaucracy to practical action. And let the funds be placed in the hands of those who are the actors. And as the funds are placed, let organizations and alliances like the GCF and the Under-2 coalition be placed in a position to help us with capacity building, provide capacity for us to access these funds, provide capacity for us to be able to manage these funds, and know what to do, because we know where exactly we want to direct the funds.
On its part, the mayor of Quito says low-carbon projects continue to be delayed due to technical capacity barriers to access private investment.
I think we all agree that it will be impossible for countries to meet their NDCs and their Paris Agreement goals without a very active role from cities. And in order for cities to do that, they need resources. So the biggest challenge that not only Quito, but I would say that most cities in the world face right now is how to access to those resources in a much more fast and direct way. And what really worries me is the fact that very frequently, that depends on each country's political scenario. If a mayor does not have a good relationship with the national government, it might be extremely difficult for that mayor to have access to, let's say, international developing financing, because very frequently you need a national guarantee that you might not be able to get because of that political scenario. So how can we overcome that? And the answer is, I think we have to go further into redesigning this whole financing architecture for climate change action at the city level. During the One Planet Summit last December in Paris, with the support of the Global Covenant of Mayors, ICLEI, the C40, and with the help of other international banking institutions, we launched a worldwide call to action to develop vertically integrated NDCs investment plans for cities, to bring everyone to the table, to bring national governments, local governments, international developing banks, the private sector, to design comprehensive investment plans for climate change actions at the city level. We launched that last December. We are making some progress, and we have heard great news this afternoon on that. I think that those are very concrete and important steps in the right direction to ensure that cities will get the necessary resources they need to implement a comprehensive and effective climate change agenda in the mid and long term without depending on other factors like political issues at the local scene. We also think that we have to come up with emblematic projects to show that this kind of investment plans would work through initiatives that might be expandable and replicable.
As part of its contribution to the urban agenda, the European Investment Bank provided nearly 150 billion euros for investment in urban infrastructure and services between 2011 and 2017. This includes providing crucial support for new urban development, sustainable transport and social housing, as well as improving water, energy, health and education infrastructure in cities across Europe and around the world.